Hey, what's up, everybody? Shane Presley here to tell you about my friends, Music Record Shop. Check them out, 4191A Manchester Avenue in the heart of the Grove, right between the demo and the ready room. Hey, this Friday, they've got new records coming in from Cage the Elephant, Leslie West, Seth MacFarlane, Placebo, Jawbreaker, Fish, and more. So come down there Friday for the all-new music happy hour. They have 10% off any purchase, new music playing, complimentary beer from Four Hands Brewery. Should be a great time. Find them online on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and musicrecordshop.com. Also, when you're down there, be sure to check out their always growing local music selection. There's a lot of fantastic local bands with music down there, so pick up some new music and enjoy.
Hey, this is Kenny Kynes. I'm on Rock Paper Podcast. Check us out.
Yeah, this is Rock Paper Podcast with Shane and his guests. You will listen to what he says. Shane will drive to your house and bring you brownies and talk for hours. It's Rock Paper Podcast. Tell me why it's nothing but a podcast. Tell me why we're making this for your ass. Tell me why. All you gotta do is download Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from inside the Backstreet Blues and Jazz.
The beautiful Backstreet Blues and Jazz.
Yeah.
Huh? Have you seen this many fake bricks in your life?
This is something, man.
I want to know when fake bricks were in.
Right.
I want to go back to that time period. Because there's a lot of fake bricks.
And apparently unfinished. Yeah, so.
It's like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
It really is.
Episode 151, my guest today is Mr. Kenny Kynes.
Lucky 151. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Man, I'm excited about this. It's been a while. This is your big return to the show.
Long awaited. That's
Yeah.
what I've been hearing on all the channels.
Yeah.
You know, your MSNBCs.
Sure.
You know, your CNNs. I know, but we're here. We finally made it happen.
Yeah.
I was finally able to clear my schedule of working and hanging out at gas stations.
Right.
Is there live music over here or what?
Here we go. What's this?
Nope.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm sorry.
Hey, who's the comedian?
No, we're recording a podcast right now.
Okay, excuse
Well,
us.
hey, let's get in the podcast.
No, this is just. I'm sorry.
I'm in a lot of podcasts, man.
We'll
I have a lot of fun things to say
as soon as this thing is done, we'll come grab you
for the podcast.
for the podcast. We'll get you in for a sign off. I
Hey,
appreciate
let's
it.
just take some shots on the podcast.
Take some shots of the podcast.
Hey, here's the thing: positive, laughing, and testing negative.
Staying beautiful. Right?
That doesn't hurt you.
Have a good one. That just happened.
Yeah. That's the beauty of recording this stuff live, man. I did one of these with Bobby Jaycox and at a Taco Bell, and there was
that doesn't surprise me for some reason.
yeah, we had a lot of fun, but we were cracking up like there was all the
4 girls or whatever that were working the Taco Bell. They all had their headset earpieces on, and they were talking to each other, and whatever they said was the funniest damn thing. They all started cracking up, and they all ran into the bathroom. And me and Bobby are like in the middle of the interview, like, what was that all about? And then they started walking out of the bathroom, and Bobby calls them over. They're like, hey, come on over here, you know. And like,
I probably should have called them over there, but it's too early. We're just getting started.
Sure.
The audience is just getting to know Kenny Kynes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
That guy was wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Who wears a suit on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
He was a crazy person, is what he was.
I think that's fair to say. I mean, who just stumbles into an empty bar and
An empty bar.
ask if there's live music when there's
And you hear none.
Nothing.
Clearly, there's no live music going on.
Right.
You could probably do that from like the Westport parking lot and say, "Wow, there's no live music going on in this location." But let's wander in.
Yeah.
Like a bear.
Right.
You know. So there we go.
Yeah. So you're no stranger to a podcast. You have been doing your own stuff now.
Exactly. I have. Well, I'll put it like this. To be fair, right? All right. So I've tried a couple of podcasts, and I mean, if you know me, I'm just not very thorough.
Yeah.
I'm not a very I'm not a very detailed oriented person. So those podcasts haven't gone more than a couple of episodes.
Right.
But we actually do a podcast. I do a storytelling show with another local comedian, Jeremy Hellwig. It's called Sorry Please Continue. And it's a once a month show. And again, the only reason why this is a podcast, because it's literally the laziest thing you can do for a podcast.
Right.
We just we record the show and then put the show up.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for me because I do nothing. I literally do nothing, which is how I enjoy living my life, doing the least amount of work I could possibly do. So, yeah, we've been doing that for about a year now.
Yeah.
We've been doing the show for over a year, almost 2 years now. It's been coming along pretty well, and we've been recording the episodes and putting them up as a podcast once a month. So,
Yeah.
and they've been getting good responses, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume, because again, I don't really, I don't really handle that.
That's what Jeremy tells me. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. I listened to one maybe a month ago. I guess I forget, but yeah, I was checking it out. But yeah, you guys are gonna have your next live one will be
December 23rd. That'll be our next live one, and this one, this episode, I believe, will be the worst time you've gotten into trouble, the worst trouble you've gotten into.
Huh.
And I'm sure everybody, we got some great stories lined up. We have a returning storyteller, Rob T, who he did the first episode and killed it.
Yeah.
And so we try to have him back whenever he's a great storyteller. But again, and this one, excuse me, this one is also we're working with the Children's Cancer Charity. So we'll be accepting donations for that as well. But this is the last show of the year. It's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to the stories. Everybody's been in trouble.
Yeah.
I know Rob's been in trouble a lot. I've been in trouble a lot. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, man. There's a fine art to storytelling. I mean, I've been trying to get much better at public speaking and storytelling on this show because that's a lot of what I like to do on this show. But you got to share the stage with one of the guys who I consider one of the best storytellers, Mr. Ryan Sickler, the other night. And that guy, I mean, his whole set that he pretty much did is all storytelling. It was not, there's punchlines throughout the stories, but it's not he only told like 4 stories or 3 or 4 stories or whatever and for his whole set. But I listened to him on his podcast, the Crab Feast with Jay Larson, and those guys, they got stories for days. And
and I mean, when you start off in comedy, the first thing you do is just tell stories that you tell the other people that they thought was funny. You don't really learn you don't really know that, hey, you have to actually tell a joke,
right?
A beginning, a middle, and an end, regardless of what you're saying. That's what people know.
Yeah,
that's the pattern that people know. So when you see these storytellers like Ryan and everything, it's like, all right, you want to tell this great story. But if you don't tell this story with some punches, if you don't tell
Sure.
the story with some jokes, nobody's going to want to listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how funny you think it is, you still have to go back and rewrite it like a joke.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know where the beats are.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the hardest things when you start moving forward and progressing as a comedian. It's like, all right, I've been telling dick jokes for 2 years, right? But I mean, and everybody wants to be Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think we can all agree that he's one of the. If you don't think he's the best comedian, he's basically he's one of the most topical comedians
Yeah.
who had ever been, and also he spoke his mind, which is why he probably was only big in England.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you want to transcend that at some point. You want to say, hey, I'm getting sick of telling these jokes about, you know, something that was either a dick joke or, you know, so wow, this crazy thing happened at the ATM. You know, it's like you want to get beyond that. You want to get to like the storytelling.
Sure. This
is me, and I think at the end of the day, your audience connects with that a lot better than they would if you're just some, you know, a one line. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, I know there are a lot of good guys or a lot of great comedians
For sure.
who are that, but I mean, in the back of my mind, I would like to be that.
Yeah.
Probably will never happen.
Like Hedberg.
Hedberg, he was a great one-line comedian. You know, he told great jokes.
Sure.
You know, but again, I think he transcended the medium in the way he told those jokes.
Right.
You know, he was very succinct. He was very, and his personality too. I think one thing I've learned with comedy is the fact that I think people enjoy who you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, if they like you,
Sure.
they like your jokes. I tell people all the time, a lot of jokes that I do, I don't think are that funny. I think they're just the way that I do them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot to just the delivery of it. You know.
Yeah.
There's you know, for me, I'm a huge Josh Arnold fan.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy can pretty much say anything. It makes me laugh just because a smile and his little laugh and everything else.
And he believes in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I'm talking to some dude that, you know, is I could. This is a coworker.
Yeah.
You know, this is just some guy who's telling some funny stories.
Right.
You know, I can identify with this guy. This is a guy that I think is cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what you're striving for. I mean, you have to, especially like, you know, I'm not like a headliner or anything. When you're up there, I mean, it's hard to do 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, to talk to anybody for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I do it a couple times a week. Talking to.
Do you?
Yeah, well, not on
this?
comedy, but doing this. Yeah, talking to people for 45 minutes. Yeah.
Now, but it's 45 minutes, and then you're in a room with people.
Sure. Yeah.
You have to make them laugh.
Yeah.
That's literally the only job you have. You know, and I just see like Josh. You know, Josh is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Or who we just saw. You know, Sean. That's just fucking.
Sean O'Brien.
Let's just forget Sean's laugh. I mean, I am drunk. Hold on. Let me take some of this water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the persona, man.
Sure.
I think once you start to get a persona
Yeah.
on stage, I think you start to move forward as a comedian.
Yeah. Speaking of that Ryan Sickler show, that was comedy in the Duck Room with Tim Convey and
It was Tim Convey, me, Ryan, and then there was a guest comedian. I don't know why I cannot remember who it was right now.
was Reed.
Reed Garber,
Yeah.
yes, he also was there as well, and it was man. What Tim is doing over there at the Duck Room is really special, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Duck Room's always been a good. I've found, or I always thought, I always thought that it was a good room to do comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the week I did it was the crowd was really good. They were really into it. The room was really good. You know, everybody was having a good time. So
Yeah, I loved it, man. I had a blast that night. Like I said, Sickler is. I talked to him for a little while after the show, and I was like, I told him that he's a big inspiration for me even doing this show. Like, listening to him and Jay talk, and then Adam Ray and Brad Williams on About Last Night. Those two podcasts are like, you know, ones I listen to the most frequently. And listening to those guys always just sound like they're having such a great time hanging out with their buddies.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of the comedy today that you see, like the Seth Rogen comedies, the
Yeah.
Judd Apatow comedies. One component, I think, one very successful component of what they've been doing is the fact that it's guys you seem to want to hang out with.
Definitely, yeah.
These are, there's a bunch of guys that you would probably hang out with in real life, and that's one of the things that I'm beginning to enjoy about comedy.
Yeah.
That it's this world you can create around yourself, and hopefully people will be interested in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not at that point yet, but you know what I'm saying? I may never be at that point, but it's fun to see. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I
one of my one of my favorite moments, and I don't think it's ever happened for me at least, but you had a the mic drop on the setup on that.
Oh yeah, that guy laughed. Yeah. That guy laughed at that joke, and I was like, "There's nothing else I can do right now."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was like there was
said something about going camping, and that guy just thought that was the fun.
He was done. He looked like a hunter camper type dude, and that happens a lot. If I ever hear anybody that does that like laughs before the punchline,
right?
I always feel that they're more enthused than everybody else.
Yeah,
and so therefore I can't say anything that's going to top the reaction that they've already done.
Right.
This punchline is never going to be as good as what that guy just implied that it was going to be.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, though. I mean, I like when stuff like that happens.
For sure.
That guy was great, and again, the audience was great, and coming out and asking, saying Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, because none of them look like they listen to Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But no, that's what I've been enjoying so far about comedy, man. It's when it's not so much when you say the material that you've been writing. It's when you can interact with the audience.
Yeah,
it makes it easier.
Yeah, I've talked about I feel like he's one of the best writers working right now, but and happens to be a friend, but Tommy Johnigan.
Man, Johnigan is a beast.
Yeah, watching him come up, and I've seen him, a couple times on a weekend, and like he'll go up, and each like first 10 minutes or whatever is always different because it's whatever the crowd is, something, he'll find something to work on, and then it's like. And it's just funny to watch, like him pick apart a crowd and what's already like somebody heckled the feature or something like that. And
I've seen him destroy hecklers,
but you can tell it's all improv. He's just making it's all right there.
I mean on some it's improv, but I think on some level he probably does have something that he can pull out of his back pocket.
Yeah, but I mean he maneuvers it well. Like it's not it's not like he's going through his act. It's you can tell it's just kind of off the cuff kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's always important. I think that it sounds like you're not doing an act.
Yeah,
I
have seen those guys though that, it's almost like verbatim of their album. It's like, and it's
you get into that mode. I think you do get into that mode if you are, especially like if you're in a city that you don't really want to be in, or if it's a city that you don't know. I mean, I'm only speaking for myself. I can't speak for every, professional comic that's been working for 20 for 20 years. Yeah. But sometimes you do feel like you just want to, like a late show. Mm-hmm. You just want to get through it.
Yeah.
So you just do your act. But sometimes you get like that guy laughing before the punchline.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that, and it's like you can just roll on that for 10 minutes,
Sure.
Shit, my set was half over.
Yeah, right.
By the time I got done with him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't a heckle. It was just like he really liked that premise. I'm like, okay, well, I can't top this.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. That was I had a good laugh out of that one, man. That was fun. So what do you how you feel about this Helium comedy?
I've heard, I've heard a lot about Helium. I heard it's a great club. I'm looking forward to another comedy club in St. Louis.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the Galleria, so they're going to be centrally located. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's another opportunity for comics to get stage time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and you're getting a fine club. You know what I mean? This is a club that gets, like Funny Bone, they get heavy hitters. They get very good headliners. You get Dave Chappelle, who hasn't been here in years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited.
those comics that don't quite do theaters, but it's also those comics that don't really get to the Midwest all that much.
Yeah.
There's
there is something I don't and I'm just as a fan perspective. There is something. There's like guys that don't want to work Funny Bones for whatever reason. I don't know if it's their managers or however it works out, or they had one experience, or but and especially even St. Louis, there seems like there's guys that I watch and like they'll skip over and they'll go to Kansas City Improv and stuff, and like but they don't hit St. Louis and
that might be a personal preference.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so,
I mean, it could be anything. I mean,
sure.
I'm sure you've been reading the papers. We're about to lose an entire football team.
Yeah.
We've already lost two of our top players from the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it could be a personal preference. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
could be a managerial thing. You never know why people skip over or go to another location.
But I'm hoping maybe Helium will change that. That's what I'm
Well,
hoping. Maybe they'll be like, if they had a problem with Funny Bone or whatever it is, maybe they'll start coming to Helium and that's in that case.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've seen their lineup coming up, and it's really good. I mean, it's really good.
Sure.
I mean, Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
When's the last time Joey Diaz has been in St. Louis?
I think. So I follow a ton of schedules. And I do recall, like, it's been a while, but he was at like Old Rock House one night. So I thought that was interesting for him to. It was him and Ari Shaffir over there. So I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought that was an interesting choice for a comedy show over there, because it's like I guess they pull up seats, but it's like it's kind of a long narrow room.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got a lot of comics like you got the Firebird, the Demo. You have the Ready Room. You have a lot of these rock clubs who are also doing comedy shows, because a lot of these comedians are coming through the area, but they just want to do one-nighters. Yeah. So, I mean, it's perfect for them. It's perfect for the venue because, I mean, it's not a lot of overhead to do a comedy show.
Yeah, right.
You just get a sound guy, and that's basically it, So, yeah, you have a lot of these guys that have been, who may not be coming through St. Louis all that much to do a weekend, 3, 4 days, 4 or 5 days. But they will come through and do a night.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 shows.
Right.
I got a chance to work. I can't think of his name right now. He does the epic rap battles in history.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I cannot think of his name. Cause I'll tell you why I can't think of his name right now. Because I'm 40 years old. That's why I can't think of his name right now. That's why I couldn't remember Sean's last name. Right. You know what I mean? I'm just old. All right. But he was in, he's big on YouTube. He's big with that epic rap battles. He also does stand-up comedy. And he just came through town and did a show at the Improv Shop. Yeah. Just a one-nighter, did his thing, and then, left. I think that's attractive to a lot of comedians.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that. I mean, like just like you're saying, Firebird and things, and then even the pageant, they've been doing a lot more comedy there.
Pageant, and now with Tim, who has a lot of connections, is doing some good shows at the Duck Room.
That's it's exciting to see that there's a sort of a comedy boom in St. Louis right now.
It's exciting again because when I first started, there was a comedy boom that was starting. All these little rooms were starting up, like Foam, and then you had some other little rooms that were also starting up. And then there was there was kind of a critical mass a little bit. But then there was there's another. It's always when another group of comedians come in. Mm-hmm. I mean, that hunger is always there. It's like, I want to start my own show. Yeah. I want to do my own thing, and that's great. Sure. I mean, we actually have some great comics that have been coming up, over the past couple of years who are getting better. Yeah. They're good and they're getting better. And they get it. They want to do weird stuff. You know what I mean? They want to do goofy stuff. They don't want to do the same thing over and over again, which is, I think, is great. Yeah. for a scene. You know, it's like I don't. You know, maybe some weird dude or some dude wants to gets up and doesn't want to do, you know, traditional stuff or whatever you want to call it.
Maybe they want to do a late night talk show.
Maybe they want to do a late night talk show.
Yeah.
You know, are we talking about STL up late?
Yeah, I think that's another great avenue to platform for to feature some comedy writing and everything else. And
yeah, I mean that whole thing is just literally is the result of hard work.
Yeah,
you know, I wrote monologue jokes for them, and to see them come up from, you know, they were just doing you know, a small talk show at Satori, which is the place downtown. To where they are now, they finally made it to television. I mean, just to watch that. I mean, it's a lot of hard work that goes into creating that television show, but you see it come out in the final product. You know, they really love what they're doing. You know,
yeah, it's exciting. You know, like it just and knowing some of the people involved in there, and you know, it's fun to watch the hard work start paying off. You know, the fact that they're already getting, you know, they are getting TV, they are getting, you know, people are taking notice and stuff. So it's cool. I mean, it's a
good time, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's ladies and gentlemen of the listening audience, I believe the episodes are up online.
Yeah.
I believe that it's on Tuesdays, either Monday or Tuesdays, but you can also catch it on live television at 2:30 on channel 4.2.
Yeah, KMOV, my
TV.
My
TV. I think it's 4-. I just got HD TV.
Yeah.
A month ago, so I didn't even know the channel existed.
Yeah.
But again, it's there, you know, and that's a step in the right direction. Then somebody else sees it and says, "Wow, this is really well done." Hey, how about you come over here? You know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what show business is about. It's just basically showing up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's stuff like that. Like you look at what they were able to do with zero budget, and if you imagine giving them a little bit of money to do it, like what they could create, you know, it's like
and it shows.
Right,
it shows.
So, excuse me, what else I got? Since we last talked, you mentioned opening for that other show, but you had gotten to share the stage with Hannibal.
Yeah, that was quite a week.
Yeah.
That was a good time, man. That was we haven't talked since then?
I think whenever we first recorded the podcast, I mean we've talked.
Was that okay?
Off mic, but we recorded your first episode. I have the number. It was number 26.
Okay. So that would have been last year, right?
That was like September or something. So
okay, so yeah, that was back in like
it was like right before you did it, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it was it was after that. It was like around October. Yeah, it was one of those things where, and I tell people this all the time, you know, most of everything that happens is because you knew somebody,
right?
You know, and I just happened to know somebody who worked. I knew him for years. You know, he was a friend of mine. And he worked at the pageant, and he was put in charge of finding somebody to open for Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
And he just called me up and said, "Hey man, I need somebody to open for Hannibal Buress, man. Can you do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" I mean, and you know, up to that point, that was the largest crowd I had ever been in front of, and I believe you me, I was nervous as hell.
Yeah.
But it actually, you know what? It actually worked out, you know, for the best. It was a great show. I mean, he was hilarious. We ended up wearing tuxedos.
Yeah.
And he called me up. He had I got a call from a number I didn't know. And then he left a message. And so I checked the message. He was like, "Hey man, this is Hannibal Buress. We're gonna be wearing tuxedos before the show. All right, get at me." And then hung up. I'm like, "What? Whoa. Let me process this." I'm like, "What?" So I call him back, and he's like, "Hey, you know, you opening up?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, we're going to be wearing tuxedos. So go over to Savvy, which is right next to the pageant. Yeah. Go over to Savvy, and I got you hooked up. Just get a tuxedo." And so we were in tuxedos for the entire show. And actually when I heard that, when all that happened, all that nervousness kind of went away.
Sure.
It's like, I'm in the tuxedo.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing more ridiculous than this.
I'm looking fly.
Yeah. And I was looking pretty fly. I ain't gonna lie. I had the pink. I was rocking the pink. What do you call that? Cummerbund.
Yeah.
Oh man, got me. I got a sweet picture with him and the feature. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Got to see somebody do ballet.
Yeah.
Somebody. So he has this gibberish rap that he does, and I guess every city he does something different.
All right.
But in this in St. Louis, he had a ballet dancer come out.
Oh, yeah.
So he did the gibberish rap, and then this ballet dancer comes out and starts dancing.
Yeah.
But it was like at the very last minute, and the whole time she was like, "I don't think I'm going up. He hasn't come got me yet. I don't think I'm going up." And she was about to go put her clothes back on, and he just started doing it, and she had to run out there and start doing her ballet shit.
Yeah. Did you do one of those Chappelle shows too?
Yeah, man, that was wow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's the biggest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Bobby also did one of those.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you were.
I did Halloween night. I did the second night. We ended up doing 2 shows.
I was there like the very last one.
Okay, no, I wasn't. There was another comedian from Iowa, I think, came down and did the last 2 nights.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was weird because I got a phone call, and I didn't know what it was, and so I didn't answer it. I didn't respond to it for a couple of hours. It was like 7:00 before I finally called back, and it was actually Dan Chopin, who is a well-known comedian in St. Louis, and he was like, "Oh, we needed somebody to open for Dave Chappelle," and I was like,
that old phone call.
What? And but I was I was on the other side of the city, so I wasn't going to be able to make it back by the time they needed me. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, God, I just missed an opportunity to open for Dave Chappelle.
Right.
And I was glad Bobby got it. Bobby's a bro. We've been in this, at this. I think he started before I did, but he's a funny guy. I respect him. So I was glad he got it. But I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this again.
Yeah.
I missed a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so they called me the next day, and he was like, "Hey, do you still want to open for Dave Chappelle?" And what am I supposed to say at this point? Like, let me think about it. I'll call you back. So no, I'm like, hell yeah. Exactly. Let me check my schedule, and I'll call you back. But no, I was like, hell yeah, I would like to open up for Dave Chappelle. And and that's probably one of the most nervous I've ever been. Literally, it was sold out. It was sold out. Both shows were sold out.
Yeah.
They were a good crowd. Both shows for me, I think, went pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where they don't care about you.
Yeah.
It was just do your thing.
A placeholder.
Yeah, it was like, do your thing. I mean, they're not mad that you're out there, but they also don't care that you're out there. So it's like, just do your thing, do the jokes work, and then get off the stage because they're not there for you. Right. No matter what you do. So, I mean, in my head, I'm like, don't blow it. I felt like I was representing St. Louis comedy at that point because, we do a lot of shows around, the area, but, we don't get a regular audience. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of people in St. Louis who have not seen any of these comedians. Right. So, I mean, there was also that factor. But yeah, I mean, I only got a chance to meet him kind of like he was walking to stage. We said what's up, all this stuff. But he was basically from the bus to the stage. And both those shows were incredible. Yeah. The second show was better than the first one. I don't know how he did it. Yeah. But the second show was better than the first one. And it was a real good time, man. I was nervous as hell. I keep, to this day, I feel like, I'm glad I didn't pee in my pants on stage.
Yeah, I was surprised at how jacked he was, man. That guy.
Yeah, he got kind of swole, man. Yeah, he has some. He's working some delts. Right now.
He was big, man.
Yeah.
I mean, even well, of course, he disappeared for a while. Mm-hmm. But you think back at like all the Chappelle shows, and he's still just pretty skinny,
lanky. Working with that personal trainer, I guess. Right. You got all that. You got that Dave Chappelle money, man. You might as well get in shape.
Yeah, but I had a great time. It was also one of the weirdest comedy shows I've ever been to, though. Like the fact that I felt like I felt like I was like in a prison or something, because like the way security's like pacing the crowd, walking.
Yeah, he didn't want any cell phones.
Yeah.
No cell phones.
And
I understand that.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean I get it. It was just it was awkward, like when you're like trying to watch Dave and this guy just pacing around with arms crossed, looking, and so you feel like the warden or something like that over there. It's like it was kind of a weird thing, but and then what was also funny is DJ's been out there before, as we're all filing in and stuff, and they said several times, hey, keep the phone off for an hour. That's all we're asking. Don't pull it out. Don't, whatever it is. And of course, end of the show, Dave's up there, and somebody, I guess, I couldn't see her, but Dave saw her, I guess, pull her phone, and Dave called her out. Ma'am, I see you out there with your phone, like security or something. Like, it was like totally killed the whole vibe.
They were kicking people out.
Yeah,
they were
sure,
kicking people out if you pulled your phone out.
And then, but of course, Dave, being a professional, got it right back, snapped, and it got the crowd right back into it. But it was just like he's in the middle of a joke and just like complete halt, stuff, and threw her out and stuff. And I was like, man, this is, it's kind of tense, but like it got right back into it, and then.
Well, she knew the rules.
Yeah, right.
They explicitly said, "Don't use your cell phone at all."
Yeah,
and you try to get over it,
sure,
you'll get kicked out.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a simple request, but yeah, I don't know why everybody,
I did not to sound like an old man because I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that social media generate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that I need proof that I was here.
Sure.
I
mean, I know. I do. I record a lot of videos of bands. Just try to not exactly for me, but I try to with the promoting and stuff. I try to put a video up and be like, hey, look, this is what you're missing out on. Kind of thing. I want people to see what these people. If you miss the show, this is what you're missing out on. Try to make it to the next one. Kind of thing. I obviously don't do it with comedy.
Well, yeah, most bands are cool. Comedy,
yeah.
exactly. Comedy's kind of weird because you don't want them, especially if you're just working on a joke. Yeah. You don't want anybody to put that online. You know, it's like I wasn't really.
Yeah, I just do it at
that wasn't finished.
Rock shows and stuff.
Yeah, rock shows. They don't care.
Yeah, sure.
People know what their music sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard a quote I was at the show, but like Rob Zombie like yelled at some fans and stuff because they were holding their phone up the whole time, or kind of thing, and he's like, put your phone away. Like, there's plenty of shitty videos on YouTube of this show. Like,
I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's annoying. Like, the show's right there in front of your face. Yeah. Why do you need to record this?
Right.
I
was even thinking.
Too bad Kennedy wasn't shot yesterday.
Yeah.
There'd be 9,000 videos from every possible angle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking tonight. So I was going to ask you, since we are getting towards the holidays and stuff, like if you had a favorite Christmas movie.
You don't have to ask that. Because I mean, you should look at my eyes and know what my favorite Christmas movie is. I mean, continue on and I'll tell you.
But because I was thinking tonight, it all clicked to me and came to mind, and it made me laugh. But so I work in an elementary as my day job, and they had their little holiday musical thing with the kids, and I just started laughing, thinking of Home Alone as Buzz is back there with the holding the candles behind Kevin's ears and playing the drums on his head and stuff. And, but what I was also thinking was, how many parents are out there recording it on their phone? It's like, why are we getting everybody here? We should just put out the YouTube video of it and give it to the parents.
Yeah, just have the school do it and then share the school's video.
They're all watching it through their phone anyway. So,
Did you really watch this? Yeah. If you watch a live event through your camera the entire time, did you really watch that event?
Yeah,
I think that's a good question.
Yeah. But anyway, so getting into the holiday spirit, what is your
my favorite holiday movie
Yeah.
of all time, and I'm several people can back me up on this, is Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Right.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
You know?
And
it's not even considered a Christmas movie.
Right.
But everybody considers it one of the best Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah.
And two, why not?
Right.
But, I mean, the original Die Hard, I mean, pretty much stands on its own as, you know, people might say A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
You know, if they're lazy, right? The Red Ryder BB gun, you'll shoot your eye out.
Sure.
John McClane spent an hour and a half shooting everybody's eye out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay, MFer. So, yeah, I mean, no, that is my absolute favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they? Was the last one 4?
I don't know. I stopped watching Die Hard movies. All right.
The last one actually wasn't too bad. I think it was Live Free and Die Hard.
Live Free, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it after 3. It was honestly, it was me and my sister, my older sister. That was our thing. We would go watch the Die Hard movies every time they came out. And I saw the trailer for, I think it was Live Free and Die Hard. And it's like, I'm not. One, it was PG-13. So I'm like, I'm not watching this.
All right.
And then I saw him on the back of a jet, a hover jet. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can buy him jumping off a building with a fire hose and then cracking through a window with no shoes on.
All right.
I'll give you that. I'm on your team. But if you put this dude on the back of a hovering jet plane at 55, I have to leave.
Yeah.
I can't be a part of this anymore.
Yeah. It's funny, like, some of these guys, man, they even just, we just had a brand new Terminator come out a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, all that. I think it's fun, like those like Expendables movies, like where they're, you know, they're still doing the action, but they're also poking fun at the fact that they're, you know,
hella old.
yeah, they're 60s or whatever doing these movies. And
yeah, and I think it's you know, for me, I've always been a big fan of action filmmaking.
Right.
You know, I've been a big fan of kung fu films my entire life. I'm just a big action film dude. And like for me, the golden age of action filmmaking was like the 80s
Sure.
and 90s, up until like The Matrix.
Yeah.
You know, that was like the last great action movie because everything's so neutered now and everything has to be PG-13 and all that stuff. But yeah, man, I think that's why you see them remaking all of these movies. RoboCop, I haven't seen the new RoboCop.
Yeah.
I will never see the new RoboCop.
Yeah.
But you
Dread.
see, you see them remaking all these movies from the 80s
Right.
and 90s because they were great movies. You know, it was just announced that they were redoing Big Trouble in Little China with The Rock, and that's one of my favorite movies, you know, coming up. But it's like you can't redo that movie because let's be honest, that movie was crazy racist.
Yeah.
It was super. There's no way you could do that movie in 2015
Right.
or 2016, whenever. You know, it's not. I'm not gonna say crazy racist, but it was uncomfortable. You know,
Sure.
if you'd have watched that movie in a theater now, you know, if you watched that movie, it would be kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but 10-year-old me,
Sure.
it's like this movie is fan fucking tastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was the best time for it. And now we got, you know, Big Boy coming back, Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, basically. So
Yeah, what you were saying you're gonna watch like 3 times or something?
I'm not crazy hype about it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was burned by the Phantom Menace and the other 3 movies.
Right.
I don't even think I saw the last one in the theater. I felt as if I was burnt by that. And so it's like, don't get too hyped for anything.
Right.
Don't get super hyped for anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going in it even keel, but I'm gonna get a chance to see it on Thursday, and then I'm gonna get a chance to see it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I am little, 5-year-old Kenny is kind of excited to see it.
Yeah. I never got into any of that, but I know.
Oh, you son, turn this off right now,
Right.
and you go see it.
There's a lot of that, like any of those big ones, even the Harry Potters or whatever, any of those like big following, movies. Like I just could never get into any of them. But,
Well, yeah, I'm like that for the most part too, man. But some of these movies are actually really good. When they get a good director and they get people who are passionate behind the project,
sure.
They end up turning out really good. Because I wasn't into Harry Potter at all.
Yeah.
I took my nephew to see the first 2, and I kept walking out with a headache for one. Out of both of them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Literally, I had no idea what was going on. And then Alfonso Cuarón did, Prisoner of Azkaban. And I love Alfonso Cuarón. I think he's a great director. And he just brought his eye to it, and it
Sure.
became this great movie.
Yeah.
So I ended up following it after that. But those first 2, I'm like, I don't know.
I remember in high school we our history teacher was a huge Star Wars fan. I remember we watched like Return of the Jedi or something like in class. So I don't know. I do. I have seen the first three, but yeah, just never really. I mean, they're fun, but I never.
Yeah, at the most part, yeah, there are some people who get. I'm one of them who get just the world building. You just get caught up in that.
Yeah.
You just like what. It's escapist fantasy.
Sure.
So you get caught up in it. And then there's some people who don't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I have other things. You're married. You have a very lovely wife. You got other things you got to worry about. And guys like me who are just like trapped in worlds.
So who are you going to dress up as then?
I'm not dressing up as anybody. Let it be known. I have a line that I will not cross. I'm not going to get dressed up, and I'm not walking around with a lightsaber.
All right.
No, I mean I'm not at that level of fandom.
One of my favorite. So I've talked. I talk about him a lot because I'm a huge fan. But I listen to a lot of Stern Show, and one of my favorite clips, and they just replayed it a little bit ago, is they send this guy Wolfie who would just go out and do these like whatever interviews at these different conventions. So he went to like a Star Wars convention thing, and he starts interviewing people, and he will talk to a lot of them in character, in costumes and stuff, and mask. And one of my favorites is he's like, "Who are you dressed as?" He's like, "I'm Darth Nihilus," and like that's part of the convention thing is they always have to like the deeper characters, who the most obscure thing they can come up with and stuff. But
expanded universe. Man.
Yeah. So and of course, then like you get into like the people that are dressed like as like a Nintendo or the game characters, because there's different characters in the Star Wars games or books or whatever, different things, whatever it is. But so anyway, but yeah, he just that Darth Nihilus, and like there was a couple other ones, but of course he just gets him so angry, like basically so you still live with your parents and stuff like that, like this kind of stuff. And
well, I'm sure you remember this. It was when the prequels came out. It was Comic the Insult Dog.
Oh yeah, right.
When he interviewed all those people from Star Wars, it is one of the best things you're ever going to see. Yeah. I mean, if listening audience, go on YouTube, look up Comic the Insult.
Triumph the
Comic Insult Dog. I'm sorry, Triumph the Insult Dog.
For me to poop on.
Oh my God, it is hilarious.
Yeah. That's Smigel, man. He's a genius.
He's
very funny.
Yeah, he's weird.
Yeah. Huh? I don't know. We can. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I got to run down to the south side.
Yeah. All right. Well, man, it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, listen, you have made this into a great podcast. I think I was on episode 26, and you're already up to episode, what is it?
151.
151. And I don't know if I said this earlier, but I tried to podcast.
Yeah.
And I got up to episode 2.
Yeah.
And only episode 1 got up. So, I mean, this is a triumph. This is a testament to you. And you also go out a lot.
Yeah.
You go out more than I do.
I like to party, man.
Yeah, man, you get out. I mean, you are what any artist would love in a fan.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
They like it, they respect it. You can't get any more than that.
Yeah. I'm having a hell of a time, man. I get to hang with guys like yourself and all my buddies, and
well, keep it going, man. Yeah. This is great. Yeah. I mean, this is a great podcast, honestly.
Well, thank you,
especially for this town.
Yeah, I'm trying to build something cool for the city, man. It's like if I can help, showcase some of the arts around town and give people. Turn some people on to some cool stuff going on here, man. That's all.
More podcasts and less stadiums. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. That's the motto.
They should give you $1.2 billion to get this thing rolling.
You hear that? You hear that, people? You hear that, St. Louis?
You hear that, Board of Aldermen?
All right. So follow Kenny on Twitter if you want.
You can find me at Steely Ken on Twitter, and then just look up Kenny Kynes on Facebook. I think I'm the only one in the world, so you got a good chance of finding me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then come out Foam on the
Foam December 23rd for Sorry Please Continue.
Yeah.
This is our last show of the year, and it's going to be that time you got in trouble.
Yeah.
And you can also, if you look us up on Facebook, Sorry Please Continue, you'll find our podcast.
Yeah.
Old recorded shows. So
Yeah,
they're really good.
I'll link it all up and get the good word out there. So, but yeah, thanks again, Kenny, for hanging out.
No, thank you. Huh? How about that? Nobody ever says that during the podcast, right?
We'll see you later, man.
Take it easy, brother.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast, y'all.